Hi guys, White Warlock here. In this video I will discuss my current day 3 build for Path of Exile 2 and how I plan to build it once I finish the campaign. I'm playing a Stormweaver sorceress using Lightning Warp as my main skill, with Bell Lightning as the main facilitator. In addition, I currently use a small Blasphemy setup, but this will be expanded once I get more spirit from the final quest in Crew Act 3 and my gear. Later, I want to try to include Archmage as well, because I'm also stacking mana, and if I can fit either a cast on shock or cast on crit setup, depending on how much spirit we have left. To support this very heavy spirit playstyle, I'm planning on running a wand scepter setup, with the wand providing the damage modifiers like cast speed and plus level 2 spells, while the scepter is like a stat stick with max mana, as much spirit as possible, int and mana regen. Later, when we can support it with better gear and more passes, I will also take Might of Matter and CI for more defense and just complete chaos damage immunity. So I'll show you what I got right now. I'm level 58. I'm currently still in Act 2. And yeah, so the way the build works is you have Ball Lightning and you have Lightning Warp. So first you cast Ball Lightning, and then when you use Lightning Warp, you jump to one of the Ball Lightnings, which then gets consumed. Like this. You can obviously spam more Ball Lightnings and just hold your Lightning Warp, but that's not always needed because as you kill a monster or deal 1 damage, you might make it so that some monsters survive. Like, this one is a little bit too high HP, maybe I can get it a little bit lower. Alright, yes. So right here, if you see this mark, you can also just jump to the monster itself, so that it dies from the call, and obviously leaves the same damage behind as if you would use it on a Ball Lightning. So currently I have a 4-link setup for Ball Lightning, 4-link setup for Lightning Warp, and a 4-link setting for Blasphemy. So for Ball Lightning, I have deceleration to reduce the projectile speed. So currently you see like this. It's currently like this. If I would remove it, it moves way faster, and that's not always a problem. So maybe later you can see if you really need it, but for now it's really quality of life to have that less projectile speed. Then we have Scattershot, that's just more projectile, so you don't need to cast Ball Lightning as often. And the less damage doesn't really matter. Less cast speed is obviously unfortunate, but our cast time is still way below 1 second, and it's fine to have a lower amount of cast speed. Because in bosses, obviously because Lightning Warp jumps to them, you can't always use it. So that extra cast speed doesn't really matter that much. And lightning exposure, because Ball Lightning shocks a lot with the 750% more chance to shock. So when you do shock with Ball Lightning, you inflict exposure. Later on, when we have more ascendancy points, we can also use scoring winds to buff that exposure, and maybe later on as well in the passive tree, increase lightning exposure effect on electric amplification. Then for Lightning Warp, this is our main skill, I have Unleash. I'm not completely sure if this is correct, but it does make it so that it recurs more times, so it's kind of like spell echo, so it's more damage, right? And because Lightning Warp's cast time is only open 5 seconds, you gain, as you can see, you gain a seal every 1 second, so that's often enough, especially for boss fights. Then we have Conk Effect. Because we're jumping to enemies, we're literally standing next to them, so even in packs you kill basically everything, so the 40% more area damage is definitely worth it. And then I have Life Drain currently in the act, because it just gives you a lot more life back when you use it, because you can just kill an enemy with Lightning Warp itself, you don't need any kill support on it. And it just helps, yeah, it helps with staying alive, because I find that I die a lot because I'm, going to people's faces. I don't have any armor or evasion, so yeah, you take a lot more damage. So life drain is pretty nice. In bosses, I swap I swap life drain with lightning penetration for more damage against bosses. Then for blasphemy, Currently, because I don't have Whispers of Doom yet, I use Enfeeble, Magnified Effect, and Ritualistic Curse. So these are just increased area of effect for the Blasphemy. Um, and yeah, once I get the Whispers of Doom, so I can add one more curse, I will remove whichever one gives less radius. So currently that would be Ritualistic Curse actually adds more radius. As you can see, this is 3.8. Now it's 3, and without magnified effect, it's 3.3. So, but that changes if you have more AoE on your tree, which we might get later on, but currently I don't have any, so it doesn't really matter. Um, Currently, I'm playing around with what skills you can use additionally to just your main two skills. Something like Comet or Solar Orb. Comet is not recommended because the cast time is super high. But maybe if you find a way where you can't Lightning Warp, but you can Comet, then maybe you can try to use that. Or you could try to use Frostbolt to inflict chill. That's basically it for the skills. Then I'll just go over the passive tree for a little bit. For the Ascendancy, I went with Arcane Surge because it just gives a lot of mana regen and more cast speed, and then the increased effect of Arcane Surge on you per 15 maximum mana because we're stacking mana because eventually we will go for Minor Matter. Not just yet because our mana regen is not high enough, and that 50% less mana recovery rate really hurts. And yeah, for bosses it might be okay, but for actual clearing, because monsters deal a lot of damage in PoE 2 compared to PoE 1. Mindful Matter doesn't work just yet. Then for the passageway, I just went with damage. Then I went for cast speed and already some maximum energy shield for extra defense. Then lightning damage here, and then the full lightning penetration and damage with hits against enemies affected by elemental ailments. Well, we are basically always shocking with ball lightning and definitely shocking with lightning warp. So this is just a lot more extra damage. Then this just gives a lot of ele damage, and we deal ele damage, so that's always nice. Eventually we're going to invest a lot more in crit, so getting storm charge already is pretty nice, and increased magnitude of non-damaging ailments, so that the shock is also pretty important. So the duration is not that useful, but the 30% increased magnitude is pretty nice here, and it's close enough to the damage anyways. And I also took this node because it's more effective arcane surge, and you know we want more effective arcane surge, right? So this is really nice. And then for now, I'm going here for more increased mana regen, increased maximum mana, and more ES, so more defense here. That's what I'm going next. Then for here, I went with Rune because it's just 35% increased damage. And here another 12% for the small passive nodes, and that's quite large. As you can see, if you would take like lightning damage is here 12%, so it's not actually that bad. And then I'm going here for, I went here for the 3% increased spell damage per 100 maximum mana. So currently we have 1100 maximum mana. So that is already a nice damage for one notable. And then obviously raw mana for 12% increased maximum mana, which is really nice. The increased mana cost of skills is doable, especially with mana flasks. Next, like passive skills you can go for if you're a higher level than mine, but you want to play on anyways. You should try to go for Whisper of Doom as soon as possible. I might skip this and go Whisper of Doom immediately actually after this when I get enough spirit, because now I only have 60 spirit and you need 120, so you need your spirit first, then you can go for Whisper of Doom. You should probably go for Curse Effect. You can also go here for effective auras because Blasphemy is an aura, and that should work. And then you could also try out these unleash skills when you're going here anyways. I'm not sure if we are going there, but it's like And now we get one seal per second, and this would basically give us one or like basically 2 seals per second. So that would be nice, but I'm not yet sure how good that is. But it's worth a try. Afterwards, it's probably just full energy shield. Um, maybe here some curse effects you could get there, but that's not that high. Um, and these nodes you can just take more lightning damage and more int as well. Here more energy shield, so yeah, just more defense, and then eventually we have to go to here. So yeah, we can go to CI and then we can check out if we go cast on crit or something. We can maybe go for invocated or for energize especially. Yeah, so that's basically the tree. There's a lot of different things you can try. We don't have bevel building obviously, so we can't just check out what gives the highest DPS numbers. But as long as you have enough gold, you can always respec, obviously. All right, that's it for this video. I'll update you in a few days, maybe tomorrow, but probably in a few days when I get a little bit higher, when I finish my next ascendancy, when I will probably take strike twice if I can, and the last ascendancy will be point will probably be this one, Skyrim Winds, and yeah, I'll also make another update video if I do specific things with the tree and stuff, so keep an eye on that. Alright, I hope you guys like this video, and I'll see you guys later. Bye bye!